You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. I'm curious, after LSU took the loss to Tennessee on Saturday, and there were a lot of questions that people had, and Brian Kelly stood up there and answered everything on Monday as he normally does. Was there any answer to a question, an issue that has been commonly asked that struck you that struck you, good or bad?
Good question. I'd say just the general way he's talked through losses, but especially this loss, there's just a lot of, and this isn't good or bad, really. It's just understanding this is where they are, and none of this is shocking, nor it's not good, it's not bad, it's just this is where they are. I think that was kind of a theme of Monday, and even post-game Saturday. You'll notice with Brian Kelly, every single game, he's not the most reactionary. He's not really. He understood, I think, and in the sense I'm getting is that this year is going to have some ups and downs, and there's stuff they're figuring out. And sure, the buzzword Monday was like, this is a process. We're halfway through the process, blah, blah, blah. But that's not entirely wrong. Like, I can't speak for you, but they're 4-2 right now, 2-1 in SEC. And my opinion hasn't drastically shifted from what I thought before the year. It's like, this is going to be a team that has some really bad games, and it's going to be a team that steps up and wins some really good games, and it's who they are. So I think that's just kind of my general takeaway, but I'm curious what jumped out to you.
The only thing that's different is I thought they would beat Florida State. Everything else has happened, I think, as I thought it would. I thought they would split October.
Me too, but I thought they'd lose to State, so it's kind of balanced out for me.
I didn't think they would lose to Mississippi State. I thought they would start the season 4-0, and then I thought they would split October, go 2-2, win one at home, one on the road, which would hold if they lose to Florida and then beat Ole Miss, which I think is certainly plausible. Lose to Bama, beat UAB, and see if you can split against A&M and Arkansas. I mean, I think that's kind of what I thought would happen. But here at the halfway point of the season, is there an area where this team is better than you thought they'd be and an area where they're worse than you thought they'd be?
I keep saying, no one likes that. I think it's tough because it's changing.
I think it's endearing.
Week to week.
So I think it's endearing, so continue with the hmms.
Thank you. Well, it's like it's changing week to week. Like, I'd say going into Saturday, the O-line was playing better than I thought they would. I was generally impressed. And then I'm not going to judge them too hard by Saturday when both Campbell and Dellinger are out. But, that was a huge hit for the O-line. So I don't want to, overreact to that. Or through much of the year, I'm like, man, secondaries looked a lot better than I thought they'd be. But in the back of my mind, I was like, they haven't really faced an offense that's like getting them in one-on-ones. They were kind of able to scheme around the passing game. And I think Saturday you saw, okay, here's a good offense, getting them spread out, and they were able to capitalize on one-on-ones. So I think those are the ones that jump out. I think the area that I expected them to be better, probably the run game, which is all tied to the O-line, of course, but I thought that would be a little smoother. I thought they'd be able to get more out of that. I thought Daniels would kind of lead to, like, be in hand with the running game, and it's really not. It's kind of almost in spite of, in a way, with the run game. It's not going hand in hand together. So those are the main things that jump out to me. But the D-line, is as I'd expect. Receivers, like, it's not like I think the receivers are playing inherently bad. I just think it's an offense that is not really conducive to getting a lot out of them. So I know that was an all-over-the-place answer, but it's literally changing week to week for me.
Brody Miller's with us. He's on Twitter at Brody A. Miller. You can read us up at The Athletic. Let's assume – by the way, I don't know if you do. Do you have an update on Will Campbell?
No, just that nothing other than, he's making progress and all that, but nothing about where he's at this week for the game.
Let's assume just for the sake of this, if Campbell and Dellinger are both out, what do you do on the left side Saturday?
So, Kelly gave an insightful answer. This I thought, pretty much saying what we all probably assume that your best case is Bradford in terms of your best option at left tackle, but that doesn't mean it's the best option for your whole line. Maybe it's better to have a slightly worse left tackle, whether that's, I don't know, Marcus Dumerville, or whether that is Cam Wire after a really tough opening, which would be tough to do, because maybe Bradford being at guard is a bigger upgrade than what you might be getting at left tackle. I think it's tough because I think I like Xavier Hill more than I like the other options at left, like at guard, more than I'd like the other options at tackle. So I think for me, I'd probably still go Anthony Bradford left tackle and go Xavier Hill at the guard spot. But I'm not confident in that because we've never really gotten to see, say, a Doomerville. We've just never really got to see him play. I'd be lying if I had a firm opinion on it. And Cam Wire, it's like he's experienced, but I mean, it's hard to erase how bad Saturday was in that sense. And Florida's got some bodies that can challenge them just as much. So I think I go Bradford left tackle.
Hey, Cam Wire started at left tackle, and then they moved Bradford to left tackle next to Xavier Hill. I mean, that was an in-game shuffle. Brody, I don't ever like to just point the finger and criticize a guy, but Cam Wire has been around a long time, and he got beaten out by a couple of freshmen this year. And there's a reason. I mean, he's played in a lot of games, but there's a reason he got beaten out by freshmen. There are guys that are better. Yeah, there are guys that are better.
And, he's just a guy who, one, he's had injury problems his whole career. I think he's just lost a lot of mobility, things like that. At the end of the day, you have enough data points to just kind of say, hey, guys, he hasn't been a very good SEC tackle, and just kind of is what it is.
Hey, how do you feel about the matchup against Florida?
I kind of like it for the most part. My deep gut feels like LSU wins this game. Just from, one, I think they can probably do a good job, and I trust Matt House also, to not focus, but, make them play a little left-handed, take away the run game as much as you can. I think when this team focuses on stopping the run, they're pretty good on stopping the run. It's when they do other things that you might see them kind of get a little less gap sound, all that. So I think if they can focus that and basically, I'm not saying, hey, let Anthony Richardson beat you because he's a super talent, but more put it in his hands. I think that's probably why I like them matchup-wise. And yeah, just don't think of Florida as an overly deep, overly talented team. So I think this does set up for, and this is where I'm getting really overly simplistic, but it does kind of set up well for a Jane Daniels make stuff happen kind of game because Florida's going to be able to stop the run, but I'm not sure about them against that.
Is there a way to fix special teams this year?
I think what I'm struggling with that even more is just I want somebody to explain to me why it's gotten this bad, if that makes sense. It's been steady for 5 years, and I know that they lost a lot of their big pieces, punter, kicker, all that, kickoff. But still, special teams is so much about coaching, so much about understanding your job, and I just don't understand how it went from top 25 every single year with McMahon to what it is now. Is that some scheme they're running? I'm not going to pretend I know special teams. I don't know, are they doing something players don't understand? Is it the players are just not, good enough, whatever that means? I don't know. So I don't know how you fix it. I mean, Kelly's talked a lot about simplifying, but that's also a thing every coach says just to say, we're trying to fix it. My answer to your question is probably not, just because we have 6 games now of sample size to say, this is what it is. But my dumb brain's just hey, how can't you fix, some of these silly mistakes?
The weird thing is, it's literally in every facet of special teams.
Yep, every single one.
It's all of it, and it's all at different times.
When to field the punt and when not to field the punt. Where to be on a kickoff, which that one I give them the benefit of the doubt, though that was a weird one. But still, when to punt too far and when not to. Gunners, field goal block. Yeah, it's every single, and of course punt return, muffing it. So yeah, it's every single part. It's
like whack-a-mole. You never know which one is going to pop up at a different time. I mean, but they're all going to pop up at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And I almost wonder, and this is me just a completely half-baked theory, but special teams is kind of a depth area, right? That's kind of, obviously LSU plays starters that are a good amount, but still, it's really about the depth of your roster. Are we maybe seeing that that's an area where the holes we've always talked about, that they're not 50 deep, but they're 30 deep? Is that what we're seeing? I don't know. It's a half-baked theory, but I'm interested.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.